New at 4:30, more money troubles in South suburban Dolton. New welcome banners recently went up in that village.
But the company that created them says it has not been paid. Regina Waldrop talked to trustees who say this is another example of how taxpayer funds are being mishandled by the mayor.
They're a new addition on a busy Sibley Boulevard. Bright new welcome banners with different messages and a picture of Mayor Tiffany Henyard, her self-titled Super Mayor written underneath. We asked some residents to weigh in on the banners.
I think the allocation of funds should go where most needed. The banner would be at the bottom of my list if I ran a town.
It's obviously self-promotion. I think she fashions herself as she's imagining herself as some kind of reality show star.
Henyard is accused of misspending and currently the focus of a number of federal probes and lawsuits. Residents continue to speak out at village board meetings, calling for more transparency on how their tax dollars are spent.
The banners cost about $19,000, but the vendor says they have yet to be paid for them and other items totaling more than $85,000.
Mosca Design emailed us a copy of the unpaid bill. It dates back to November 2023. Trustee Tammy Brown says the banners were never approved by the village board.
They don't make any sense at all. They're all of the mayor. It's okay to have a banner that says welcome to Dolton, but you don't need to have the mayor's face posted throughout Sibley Boulevard.
Trustee Jason House in a statement told us it's deeply unfortunate that the administration has chosen to squander funds on self-promotion while our fire department has gone without a contract for 5 years. This blatant disregard is a slap in the face to the hardworking individuals and the creditors burdened by the millions of dollars of debt incurred by the mayor's reckless spending. Our community deserves better. NBC5 reached out to the Henyard administration for comment, but we didn't hear back.
Now that the world knows what she's doing, I'm hopeful that more people will get out of their comfort zone and come and help us with this.
In Dolton, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
It's just a discussion and an ask that from the board that we direct our legislative attorney, Alderson Sturk, Murphy, Frazier, McGrath, to seek assistance from the Illinois General Attorney under the financially distressed city law. The reason for this discussion is that at this time, of course, we are still not receiving financials. We have the court ruling that it's still going to take us a little bit of time. But overall, we are still getting a lot of past due notifications sent to us on bills with no communication and no response from the administration on what's happening. We feel that if this has been passed before one time that I'm aware of in East St. Louis, and really it would call for the state to set up, let me make sure I'm getting the proper term here. They will be setting up a Dolton Financial Advisory Authority, which will be overseen at the state level to monitor and make sure that the proper bills that are coming in are received, are voted on, and get paid. And I'm talking about bills that we feel are critical, our workers' compensation insurance bill, our police vehicle bills. We want to make sure all the bills that should be getting paid are being presented to the board and being voted. And at this time, that level of transparency has not been afforded to the board. So we are, the ask would be that we have our attorney inquire from the General Assembly. Our ask would be that we inquire from the General Assembly that that we have a distressed community, but that we seek remedy under the financially distressed city law, 65 ILCS 5/8-12, and some attorney language behind it. So I'll yield to see if any board members have any comments or thoughts on this one.
I just want to state that I am in agreement with this because for the last few months, we've been begging for the financials, right? In every meeting, we hear the same thing. They have the information, and the information have yet to be put on that Jumbotron. So hopefully, with the court's ruling, or with this being put in place, they will either put it on a Jumbotron or email it to us and provide it to us so that we can provide it to the residents, because we hear you when you all ask us questions regarding the financials, and we love to provide you with the information. So look for the Jumbotron next meeting. Hopefully they put the information on there for us.
Okay.
Just in reference to the financially distressed city law, it can be, is it based on like a certain time that we can utilize it, or once it's in effect, does it remain in effect?
The request that we, assuming board is okay, would be asking is that while this mayor is is at the helm, that the state assistant overseeing the financials of this community. That is the request. Now, as it gets to the state level, they may dive in deeper and make some different determinations. But our ask would be that during this administration with this mayor, that we continue, and then as if and when there is an administrative change, that it could be reevaluated.
Thank you. I'm definitely in support of it, but I just want to reiterate to everyone, we are in bad shape. And as four of us sit up here to say that we're asking for help from the Illinois General Assembly to come in to make somebody give us documents that we are entitled to make financial decisions of a community is really sad. For us to have to beg to try to see if an audit has been done, which we know that if it has been done, it should have came across the board to see it. We can only say as of September of 2023 where we were. We're in March of 2024. We have no idea how much debt we're really in. But to see every day emails come to us saying, you're 7 months past due, you're 5 months past through, you're 6 months past due, makes us realize that no one is sitting here doing what they're supposed to do in reference to maintaining the finances of the village of Dolton. And that is bad. You pay for what you want to pay for, but not things that you've incurred bills for that these people are. And I said this at the last board meeting when one of the department heads said something. We had a lady there asking us for $500 from 5 months ago. $500. That lets you know what type of financial situation we're in. And the person that's overseeing it, that should be giving us, I'm even say the finance committeeman, chairperson, Stan Brown. I'm gonna put him on blast right now because it makes no sense that we have to ask an outside entity to come in and try to clean up our house. So I am in total support of this and whatever legal remedy we need to do to move it faster, because y'all is always saying we go to the courts, and we shouldn't have to go to the courts, but when you have someone that totally disregards the law, then this is what we're left to do. So I am in total support of anything that can help better the financial stability of the village of Dolton.
I too am in agreement. Just listening to a conversation today where a vendor called Trustee Belcher, when they're seeking $14,000, $13,000, $17,000, this is little money. What about the big money that we haven't paid? There are some vendors out there that we owe hundreds of thousands of dollars to that we are not paying. We got people calling us for $14,000. We got people calling us for the flashing stop signs. So I guess they'll be taken out of the ground maybe next month if they don't get their $17,000. These are little bitty things that people are calling us with, but they did the work. They need to be compensated. These people provided services to the village and they're not getting paid. When we talk about months, 9 months ago, 7 months ago, 6 months ago, people are not being paid. So if you're not paying the bills, then what are you paying? And these bills were approved by the board months ago. I just look at it as this, and this is me saying this. If you're not paying the bills, then maybe you're making payroll. If you can't make payroll, then you'll pay the bills. So it's something here, the reason why we're not paying bills, because we got to make payroll. Let's come to a point where it says, hey, the bag is empty, guys. The bag is empty. The $6.9 million been coming for 8 months, and it still hasn't gotten here yet. The bag is empty. When we can't pay $14,000, the bag is empty, guys. As she said before, and I would say, my granddad used to say, we're in a mighty bad way here. And when a person don't show you the money, it's a problem. It's a problem for all of us when we can't see where our tax dollars, when we can't see them and see how they're being spent. That's a problem. We got a big problem here. And definitely, you know, everybody's on social media, the news. Somebody has to step in. And as Brittany said, who's going to save us? Somebody has to save Dolton. You see the residents out here monthly. You see the trustees. We're here. We're begging for someone to come out here and save Dolton. You know, taxes going up. She just had a referendum. What to raise your taxes? Who wants to keep putting money in a bag that you say you got, the bag is full? You're steady asking for our dollars, but you're not spending them the right way that it should be spent on this village. Again, somebody come here and hashtag save Dolton. Save Dolton. We're in a bad way. And it's a shame when you see every week somebody's saying, hey, I didn't get my 14,000. I didn't get my 17,000. I didn't get my 26,000. That's bad. That's bad. And then to go out and people see you everywhere and say, hey, aren't you from Dolton? And they laugh at me. I'm like, no, I'm from Posey. You know, it's a joke, but it's a hurting thing. It's a shameful thing to see where this village is today and where it was when I moved here 18 years ago. So again, let's save Dolton. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. And just one point to add a little bit more clarity on this ask before we go for board consensus. This is about more than getting the financial documentation to the board members. This is because my thought is, of course, put it on the website. I don't need to get it from the administration. The residents in the community deserve that information. But this would also go beyond getting the information and making it public. This would empower the state to actually issue the check. Once it's been voted by the board, issue the check, make sure that check goes out the door. At this time, there are millions of dollars worth of checks that are just sitting on the desk, and that's why these vendors are calling. We have many vendors that have been approved by the board, and those checks, we're told every month, oh, the checks will be cut this week. And then we get a call from a vendor or something else that'll indicate that they're 3 months behind, 4 months behind, and we look up and say, we've already approved that. So this, in addition to getting the information that is needed for the community to the community, it will also enforce that behind the scenes, those kind of games can't be played. So that way there can be confidence that when a bill is voted and approved, that check is going to become, and that will be coming, and it will be a monitoring of the bank account to make sure there's enough money in the bank. So this, we feel, is just a firmer stance to, if we're able to get it accomplished, to make sure that we're doing things financially sound. So having said that, I'm going to ask for a consensus to give that direction to our legislative council, Trustee Norwood, Trustee Brown, and Trustee Belcher.
Yes.
Okay, and yes, I'm in agreement with that as well. Item F on here, and this one is a discussion on the status of the Board of Trustees inquiry to the Mayor's office seeking any contract hiring an independent investigator or recent allegations made about an incident that occurred in Las Vegas, any invoices and receipts of payments made to that independent investigator, and any reports, findings generated by this independent investigator, if that is available. The reason that this was put on here is there are terrible allegations that many people are aware of for the Village of Dolton, and as a board member, we recognize. As a board member, oh goodness, I got to get out of that habit. As a board member, we recognize that this also comes with a lot of potential liability or cost to the residents of Dolton. The 4 board members present, I'm saying this just to make sure we have it as a matter of record. The 4 members present were not on the trip in Las Vegas, so no, this is just a matter of record. I mean, I'm serious because I think these are scathing and serious allegations. There are individuals that were on that trip, and we recognize that an investigation should have happened. In fact, it was reported that an investigation did happen. So as a board member, we feel that through transparency, if an investigation happened and the results were as it was stated, the community deserves to know that, and then that puts us in a better position on our liability. If nothing happened, we need to make sure something starts today, immediately. But this information, the board has asked for on 2 occasions and have gotten no response whatsoever. So having said that, I think that we want to just we're bringing it so that way we can give residents an update at least that we desire and we're demanding, so we're going to be again going through our legislative attorney to seek relief, if we can, from the county sheriff's office, FBI, or anybody that has subpoena authority to force an investigation. As at this moment, I'm left to believe that no investigation really occurred, which I think is very frightening and dangerous. So that's the reason that we brought this up to put on this agenda. Hopefully, we'll get a response at least, so we know direction. But I think the board has. We've tried to do the best we can to get information so that we can share it. And at this point, having or not having information, we feel compelled that we make sure that we at least share with the status with the community of what we think about it and what directions we're going to try to take to be responsible and make sure that we can limit our exposure as a village to a financial payment on this matter. Are there any comments from any other board members? Okay, hearing no comments, I'm going to ask if we have, just for a consensus vote, that we ask our attorney for more direction and to seek intervention from any agency that can enforce with subpoena authority. Trustee Norwood. Trustee Belcher. Aye. Trustee Norwood. Brown. Aye. Trustee Brown, yeah, Trustee Tammy Brown, and Trustee Jason House, yes.